We're back with America's most respected TV mom, best known as Olivia Walton, or as show fans call her Ma, actress Michael Learned. We were talking earlier about your acting career, and also you said that you traveled. You were in Austria because of your dad in the CIA. Is it?
Well, it was called the OSS then,
right?
Overseas Secret Service. I didn't know what he was doing.
Right.
So there's a wonderful TV show that actually Richard Thomas is in called The Americans, which is about Russian spies who live as, and of course my father was a spy in this tiny little village in 1950. But we didn't know what he was doing.
Because he had to keep it hush-hush.
Exactly. Right? But he had a room where there was a telegraph machine.
Right.
And all the curtains were always closed, and we had to knock. We could never go in. And whenever I'd go in, if he was typing something, he'd pull the papers down. And all kinds of weird things were going on, but we didn't know.
Right.
But when I watched The Americans, I think, boy, that was really kind of a screwed up childhood because there were secrets. It was, and my mother finally told me when we were leaving, she said, Michael, this is a life and death secret. Your father is working for the Secret Service, and if you ever tell anybody, his life could be in danger. So I learned how to keep secrets.
That's good.
Yeah.
So you recently played on Miss Daisy, is that it? Or?
Oh, I've done Driving Miss Daisy.
Driving Miss Daisy.
In fact, we wanted to do that here, but
right.
Bud couldn't get the rights. I think they're tied up for some kind of tour that's going to happen. And so I suggested Love Letters, and luckily he moved on it right away because now they're doing Love Letters in New York on Broadway. Right. And they haven't asked me, but I'm not bitter. So he might not have been able to get them. It's lucky he did.
So Love Letters is still playing through October 5th at the Delaware Theater.
Yep, and people love it.
Good. They're getting great reviews. I know you don't like to look at the reviews.
Thank you.
Right?
Well, I like to hear that they were great.
Right.
So that's good. And you know, it's interesting. Men come up to me afterwards and relate to my character. That's only here that I've ever heard that.
That's interesting.
They come up to me and they say, your character told my story. And I'm thinking, well, you must have done something to turn your life around, which is very good.
That's good.
Yeah.
You have played Ma and this wonderful, revered, special mom on TV. Is there anyone on TV right now that's playing a mother role that people can really relate to or that you think is important?
Can you think of anybody?
I don't watch a lot of TV.
No, I don't either.
So.
Honestly, I don't.
Right.
I do with my husband.
Right.
And you know, I usually watch what he wants to watch.
Okay,
not because I'm passive, but because
you're far from passive.
Because you know, I don't really care that much. I haven't watched anything. I've been reading, which I love.
Right.
That's my first love. Yeah.
There's so much involved with social media, and actors are putting so much out there. Do you think that it's taking away some of the mystique that's involved in acting and in their lives?
I guess. I just, I've tried to be a regular person all my life. Even when the Waltons was at its peak, I would stand in line at the movie theater. I took buses in New York when I was doing a series called Nurse, and I never wanted to lose touch with the real world. And I do think some Hollywood people are so isolated by their fame, if you will, that that really their lives get really out of whack, I think. And mine has stayed pretty normal. My kids once said, Mom, you don't have to stand in line. And I said, this isn't going to last forever. And it's more fun to stand in line. You get to talk to people. And that takes the mystique out of it, but by the same token, people don't want to grab your clothes and tear your hair out or anything, because you're just a person.
Which is nice.
Yeah.
It's good. You and I were talking earlier about what's coming up for you, Olivia. I see I'm calling you Olivia. What's
That's
next?
Good. Well, I'm supposed to do an independent film called Poor Paul. That's the working title. I don't know if it'll stay that way. And I get to play a mafiosa grandmother who mumbles what the leads think is Italian, but it's really her own language. And she carries a gun, and it's a tiny little part, but I can't wait to do it, and I hope they get the money and, you know, that it all really happens, because it'll be be totally different from anything I've ever done.
Yeah, and it's so different, Michael, from Olivia and from the Waltons and that special Ma, right?
I can have a lot of fun with it. looking forward to it.
Well, I wish you lots of luck, and I don't
you.
think you need luck. I think you're doing an incredible job, and you've had an incredible life in theater and in TV, and thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. Thanks.
My pleasure. Still ahead, it's not a secret that society has given mental illness a bad name. Next, we'll hear from one man who's speaking about the terrible stigma attached to mental health issues and why he says depression and being bipolar are nothing to be ashamed of.